Prod.VncleBvby. This video I'll be breaking down how to make sweat chord progressions. I'll be showing you the easy method and how to utilize the chords to simply make the full melody. Let's dive straight into the source. Let's go. My apologies for the rudeness. I wasn't recording when I was making the bass line, but it's just a simple bass line that goes down the scale of E minor natural. Press the piano roll button on your bottom left to change your scale to E minor natural. Then we're gonna build a chord by skipping every note on the scale. The F sharp is in the scale, so we're gonna skip it and use G. Then we're gonna do the same thing to build the third note to make a triad chord. A is in the scale, so we're gonna skip A and use B. Even in the second chord, we're gonna do the same trick by skipping a note in the scale to make a chord. Nothing fancy, it's because we changed the scale to E minor. Now we can see which notes are off the scale. I know it's off the scale, but that doesn't mean you can't use notes off the scale. If it sounds good, you can use it. Do the same thing. Skip a note in the scale, then you start building your chord. Skip a note in the scale, then you have a full chord. This is the same chord, so you're gonna experiment a little to make a little difference. But I might change it back. Sometimes it doesn't sound good. It sounded way bad. I didn't want even you to listen to it. You see? So I'm gonna change those notes back. Now we're gonna go back to the normal way of doing it. By skipping a note in the scale. Then you paste the note. Do the same thing until you have three notes. Skip a note in the scale, then you paste. Now it's done and easily. Now we've built the foundation, so we're gonna humanize our notes so that they sound way more natural, more like a pianist is playing them. But I like to do it manually, so I'm gonna skip through all of that. I'm doing that because FL Studio has a tendency of exaggerating things. You see, now it sounds like a pianist is playing it. The notes are not on grid, and the velocity is random. Now we're gonna build our top line using the same notes in the scale, or even the same notes in the chords, like E and G here. Now we're gonna cut the chords to make a strum melody right before the next chord. That makes a real good transition. We could even move around the notes in the chord. Now we're gonna use the notes that are close together, like G and F sharp, to make that sad feeling, or that dark feeling. Closer notes, when they play together, really sound dark. Right now we're doing the same thing we did on the other chord. We're gonna make a strum right in the end of this chord to make a strum effect, like a real pianist is playing it, or to give it that gospel feeling. If you don't know, now you know. At 50 subscribers, I'm giving away my FL Studio mobile projects. So don't forget to subscribe and turn on your notifications. Now I'm gonna put this note and move this one, so that when the notes are playing, they are playing exactly with the chords to make it a really good melody, as you hear right now. Right now, there's a melody in my head that would land perfectly with the strumming of the chord I made. Remember, in my last video, I told you that I like to hammer notes. I'm hearing something like dee 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 dee. I suggest that you keep on making beats until you have an ear for music, so that you can hear notes that are off the grid, so that you can put what you have in your mind into the door. I think you might have noticed that the notes that I'm using are the notes that are already on the melody. We're gonna make a strum in front of this chord, in the start of the chord, so that it's unpredictable. Since on the other chords we use the strum on the end of the chord. Now let's listen to the full thing. I know you might think we're done, but I wanna add a little bit of sauce by copying these chords and pasting them up an octave, or 2 octaves up. Yeah, that's what we're talking about. Right on the start, I want to add to the melodies, more to the melody, by adding simple notes, maybe 3 notes, that run up the scale. I might use a note that is off the scale too. I'm gonna start by using the note that is off the scale. Nothing much. Just move the notes on the second bar. Right now I'm gonna add more notes, I think maybe 2, the ones that are close together. Now listen. I rendered the melody as an audio, and I pitched it down minus 1 semitone, sorry. Then I added a compressor to tame the peaks, so that I can squash the loud parts and the quiet parts together. Then I added an EQ to boost a little bit of the highs on the 4K. Then I cut the lows, sorry. Also added another EQ to cut the lows. After finishing the initial idea, everything else is gonna go smooth, just by using the same notes that are in the piano melody. Just like here, I copied the basic chords to a Rhodes piano, then I added compressor. I boosted a little bit of the highs using an EQ, then I cut the lows. Now all we're gonna do is layer the melody. After all of that, I cloned the Rhodes piano so that I can layer strings, solo strings. These are stock sounds. This is not a one-shot kit I used or something. Then I did the same thing, clone the strings so that I can add a warm pad. Then I cut the lows on the pad. Now this is how I use my one-shots. I add them in the playlist, like this one. I added it in the playlist, I copied it and pasted it so that I can reverse the other one. Then I also use this one. This one is just for ambience. Like you can see in the EQ. I cut a lot of the lows and some of the highs. Then I added these vocals. I didn't want them to be present, so I cut a lot of the lows and I cut a lot of the highs. Then I rendered the whole melody so that I can treat it as a loop, but I just cut a little bit of the lows using an EQ, just 30 Hz. Right now I added a melody bus, which I'm gonna show you next. But right now I want to dial it back a little bit. The effects are way too much. So I'm gonna dial it back. This is the melody bus. Just added an EQ, cutting the lows. Added a flanger, not too much. As you can see, the mix. Then a chorus. And I added a tape delay and used the subtle stereo effect. Added a trance delay and a reverb, a cathedral preset. Now let's just add a basic bounce with the drums. The easy way is cropping the notes of the chord, the bottom notes of the chord. Then you move around the notes to create a bounce to the clap using the arrow 8. There's this annoying reverb tail. Anyone who can tell me how to remove it, leave a comment. Right now I'm just adding the notes I know that are right, or the notes that I know I will need. Then I'm gonna move them after. Now we can move them around, like I said. The main purpose of the video was to show you how to make chords. But right now I'm just adding an extra sauce for you guys. Just adding a bounce. This is not a drum tutorial. I do have a drum tutorial, which I'm gonna link in the description and the comments. Now we're just gonna add a basic snare, nothing much. Then we're gonna add basic hi-hats, not the regular 2-step bounce. I know the bounce I want, so I'm gonna do it. After that, I'm just gonna copy and paste it. Oh, these children, God. My apologies for that. Those are my nephews. Let's change to this hi-hat, because it's my favorite. My apologies for the inconvenience. I had some lag issues during the rest of the drum recording. My phone just got hot and very hot. I think it's because the beat was too fire. But don't stress, I do have a drum processing video. I'm gonna link it in the description. Thank you very much for watching. Remember, at 50 subscribers, I'm giving away my FL Studio mobile projects. So don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notifications. Thank you very much. Peace.
Uncle got you in a trap, baby.